The Defence Force has confirmed that 3 of its members have been injured in the eastern DRC. The soldiers are part of a UN intervention brigade which has been set up to assist the Congolese government as it battles M23 rebels. SANDF spokesperson, Brigadier General Xolani Mabanga, joins me now from Pretoria for more on this developing story. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Just tell us from what you know currently, the number of injuries still stands at 3?
The number of injuries, we can say, stands at 3. That includes the member who was injured over the weekend, that is on Saturday, 24th of August. Okay. And 2 other members were injured yesterday during the clashes. Okay, and these are clashes as our members of the Defence Force are part of the UN force engaging M23 rebels? On Saturday, it was just a crossfire because we were not engaging at that moment. However, yesterday in the afternoon, then that's when we started engaging. But it's nice to say that what is happening is that the South African National Defence Force, together with the Tanzanian People's Defence Force as part of the Force Intervention Brigade, were providing fire support to the armed forces of the Democratic Republic of Congo, that's the government forces, on their attack on the M23 position. And it is during that we suffered a casualty. That's one with a bullet wound, and then also later on, we had a casualty due to some bombs that also were falling, which caused some shrapnels or splinters causing the damage or an injury to one of the members, making therefore the total of our injured members to 3, including the one on Saturday. Okay, are you expecting this engagement that has already been happening to escalate in the next few days? Well, it depends on the resistance as well as reaction from the opposing force or from the other side. But what we are currently doing or engaging in is to provide fire support to the armed forces of the Democratic Republic of Congo in their engagement. This fire support entails artillery fire as well as mortar fire and some gunships operations or attacks. Okay. We understand from the ground that some of the soldiers are saying they were not prepared to be engaging Rwanda, but to be helping the UN force and the Congolese forces against the rebels. Do you know anything about the involvement of Rwanda in this conflict? Well, I may not confirm at the moment the involvement of the Rwandese armed forces in the conflict. But we all know that the conflict in the eastern DRC is a very complex conflict or situation. So it's possible that you are actually there engaging with a very, very well set up army instead of just a rebel group? Well, at this moment, I'm afraid I wouldn't like to confirm that until such information has been verified. It seems like the M23 is doing a better job than the UN forces that you are part of, than the Congolese rebels, and yourselves as the SANDF, keeping us informed about what is really going on. We tend to be getting more from the rebel side. Are you planning to change that so you communicate with us a little bit more proactively and fully? Well, we intend to have a proactive response or a proactive plan in terms of informing the public about the developments in the eastern DRC. However, I would like to inform the public that they should be aware of the propaganda machine as well as the purpose or the psychological warfare that the M23 might have been posing, which also originates or dates back to their Twitters, which they did even before the deployment, just immediately after the announcement of the establishment of the Force Intervention Brigade, whereby they said that they request that the South African National Defence Force should not take part. So this is part of that. We should be aware of that. Then they may seem to be taking a lead in informing public, but what is it that are informed? Are you being misled, or are you being given the exact information of what is happening in the eastern DRC? Will you be joining the Twitter sphere as well? If they are on Twitter and you want to counter that propaganda, will you also be joining that in terms of your proactive communication plan? Because remember, the more you communicate openly for us as citizens who support our soldiers when they help other countries in such missions, we need to know. But if we don't know, we are only fed propaganda, how can we actually show that support? Well, we will use all the necessary platforms that we have or establish within the South African National Defence Force, as well as within our government policies and prescribes to inform the public. We may not be forced to get into other platforms which are not in the establishment of our organization just for the purpose of reacting or informing the people in response to what has been said by the M23. We will try by all means not to be reactive.
Okay, thank you very much. That's SANDF spokesperson Brigadier Xolani Mabanga live from our studios in Pretoria on the latest situation in the DRC and how they plan to deal what he calls the propaganda from the M23 rebels.
News that moves. eNCA.com.